Ryan Fleming can help you chart out a course for your retirement with his intimate knowledge of financial planning and the airline industry. It's time for the Pilot's Advisor.
Hey there, welcome to another edition of the Pilot's Advisor. We're going to have some fun today taking a retirement planning quiz with Ryan, something that you can follow along from home as well. Ryan, it is great to be with you once again, joining us from Oakland today, and good to have you in a new location today, Ryan.
Yeah, you know, it's our Oakland office I'm working out of today, and I always love it. You know, we always have fun on the podcast. I like how you say we have fun, Walter, as you got a pop quiz. I feel like I'm back in fifth grade, you know, and guess what? We're going to have a pop quiz here on the chemistry lab.
Nobody ever liked hearing that, right? You're going to have a pop quiz today? That was never like joy to anyone's ears.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I was always a good test taker and did pretty well in school, but yeah, nobody wants to hear about a pop quiz.
No, it's no fun. Hopefully this one will be a little easier, though, since it's kind of in the realm of things that you do each and every day. And I think we'll make it a little bit easier in that regard.
Pressure's on. Here we go.
Pressure's on, exactly. All right, so don't dread this as much as you did when you were in that fifth grade, Ryan, but we're going to put your retirement preparedness under the microscope with 5 critical questions today, and you need to know the answers to these things. So if you don't go 5 for 5 on the show as you're listening today, well, that's probably a good sign that it's time to get your retirement and financial plan addressed a little bit. So here's the first one for you, Ryan. Number 1, at what age should people start saving for retirement? Is it A, when you begin working, B, after you buy your first home, or C, when you've paid off all your debts?
Well, the answer is D, as soon as possible and as early as possible.
So even before working, or that's sort of like a... I guess technically I might have sort of started saving for retirement before working, yeah.
Honestly, yes. I mean, even like those families that teach personal finance or their kids start cutting grass or doing stuff around the house, and if you can start getting $5 here or $20 there to start investing, you're going to have a much different life than that person that waits till they're in their 30s or 40s.
Makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, you can, even in your earliest jobs in high school or whatever the case may be, you could easily start setting aside some of those dollars for retirement and instill those habits at a young age.
Well, I think we really fail to teach our children probably one of the best lessons you could ever teach them, and also one of the best gifts you could ever give them is teaching them how to invest their money. And the biggest factor that's going to determine things in your retirement is the T, and that's the time. It's the one thing we can't change. And when you look at compounding interest, the biggest effect is the time. So just imagine if you started contributing to like a custodial Roth IRA when you're a teenager and had that summer lifeguarding job and started putting some money away, how different your life would be. I mean, you're going to be a millionaire at 60 by doing nothing.
Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah, even starting at that young of an age, even with a few $1,000s over the course of 40 plus years, that turns into a lot more than that. So pretty smart and sharp to do so. If somebody wasn't on that train, though, Ryan, I guess if there was an answer D to this, I suppose we could also have an answer E or something like that, and that would be any time is the right time to start saving for retirement. So if you haven't started it, now is the time.
Well, and the other thing I'll add to that is I've had conversations with individuals where they're well behind on retirement, and that conversation's so painful that they just try to ignore it. And it's unfortunate because ignoring it is only going to make the problem, worse. And so starting to chip away at it and starting to get serious with the savings plan is just something you got to do, no matter how ugly the situation might be right now, because it's not going to get any better once you're at retirement age.
Great points across the board. So there you have it. Answer to question number 1 was kind of an all of the above, just early, often, as soon as you can. If you haven't done it, do it now. So it's all of these things. Do it today if you haven't done it before. So that's kind of, we'll accept many answers maybe for that question. So hopefully everybody's 1 for 1 on our retirement planning quiz here. Here's question number 2 for you. Which of these is the best estimate of how much income you'll need in retirement? Now, I want to hear your answer here, Ryan, but then also if you were to ask this to a lot of your clients before they come in to meet with you for the first time, what you think their answer would be. A, 50% of your current income, 85% of your current income, 100% of your current income, or D, none of the above.
The big picture estimate for this that people have used over time is 80 to 85% of your current income. So the answer is B. However, I would argue that in actuality, most people think they'll need less in retirement. And cases going forward, not only because of inflation, because of travel, where you're not working, you have more time on your hands. People actually are tending to spend more in retirement than they are in their current jobs. And with that being said, you probably need a lot more money in retirement than you realize.
So a lot of people may think they're going to be closer to that 50% mark, and the suggestions are that you are closer to the 85% mark, but you're saying reality is that you're probably a little bit closer to that 100% or maybe even more mark.
I would agree with all those cases, and it's no different than people assume they're going to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, when in actuality that's not necessarily the case. You have a lot less deductions. Taxes seem to continue to be going up, and in many cases you're actually in the same or worse tax bracket.
And every day is a Saturday, like we've talked about on past shows. So we tend to spend the most money on Saturdays. And so that, kind of works against us too. So with that in mind, how do you construct your financial plans for pilots and others that you work with? Do you assume 100% of current income? Do you drop anything there in the plan when you look at those numbers? Do you account for even more?
I'll tend to get my clients to go over a whole budget so they can really see what they think they're going to spend in retirement. And we'll see that where that falls on the scales. But I'm going to build out a plan between 85 and 90% of their current income, and then also throw a couple softballs in there of what could change over the course of it, because it's much better to be safe than sorry, and to overestimate versus underestimate.
Hey, if you're ready to have clarity and thrive in your retirement, you're in the right place, and I've got another resource for you to check out. Go to retirepilots.com and look right there on the homepage. You'll be able to click Get My Free Toolkit. What this is going to do is help you get, for free, Ryan's Retirement Toolkit. This is going to include his 2 books, The Pilot's Advisor and Pilots Retire Early, revealing the 9 critical decisions when retiring and the 7 lessons to save your retirement. Not only does it include the books, but lots of other goodies packed into this free toolkit that'll be sent to you ASAP. It's a great starting place for any pilot to begin their retirement journey. Go to retirepilots.com. 2 questions down. Let's go on to number 3 here, Ryan. We're going through this retirement planning quiz. Which of these do you find that retirees fear the most? Not leaving enough money to kids or the next generation, running out of money, or C, needing nursing home care?
If I was to pick one, I would say the thing that people fear the most is running out of money. They want to know that they're going to be okay. But with that running out of money, it starts bleeding into those other things because, of course, if they run out of money, then they're going to be a burden on their children, which nobody wants to do that. And, long-term care is so expensive now. Most people are choosing to self-insure, which could easily eat up their retirement assets. I think that there's a bigger weight on parents now to make sure their kids are debt-free while getting their college education, and maybe not as much of a pressure to leave them so much as getting them off in life debt-free. So I don't see a lot of my clients talking about how much they want to leave to their kids. I mean, I think that definitely becomes a conversation over time, but most of them are like, I want to spend all my money, I want a vacation, I want to do all these things and leave them $1. When in reality, that's not how they really feel, but that's more of the conversation.
All right, that's a good one. I think a lot of people are going to have varying fears, but certainly some common threads. And I guess maybe when people get that, at least I've seen family members go through this evolution too, Ryan. Like that fear of running out of money is first, but it dovetails, at least just from some personal experience, it seems to dovetail into that nursing home care worry really starts to take effect in people. If they kind of didn't address that in phase 1 of their plan, it eventually kind of supplements or, goes over top of that running out of money worry.
Well, exactly, especially once they realize, hey, I might not run out of money, but oh gosh, what about long-term care? And it's a moving target. I mean, there's things that happen in retirement that the realities of life start setting in. And then, as those realities set in, you can see the difference that it's going to have on your portfolio.
All right, let's go to question number 4, and we're ticking right through these on our retirement planning quiz. Which of these examples best represents a diversified retirement plan, Ryan? Would it be A, mix of 60% stocks and 40% bonds, B, 3 rental homes in different neighborhoods along with a significant amount of cash in the bank, C, 10 to 12 different mutual funds, or D, none of the above?
What do you think about this one, Walter?
If D were all of the above, then maybe it'd be a little bit closer. That would feel more diversified, perhaps. I think most people would probably say like C, get a bunch of different mutual funds, and I'd feel pretty diversified. I feel like you're going to go with D because it seems too simplistic, but
yeah, it does, and there's not enough information on a lot of these because 10 to 12 different mutual funds tells me nothing. They could all be very similar mutual funds, and you're not diversified at all. You have a massive overlap. 3 rental homes in different neighborhoods doesn't really tell me anything because I don't know which neighborhoods they are, where the location is, what's the cash flow on those, and the fact that you have some cash in the bank doesn't really tell me anything either. So yeah, I'm going to say none of the above.
probably a good choice, I would imagine. And just more info needed to get a correct answer. So I'll stick with you on that one and follow your lead there. It's interesting, though, because we have seen a lot of people, think that just that mix of stocks and bonds, that's enough, right? Like that's all you need, or just throw it into a whole bunch of mutual funds and you're fine. These are the sort of simplistic answers that people kind of throw off from the hip, but rarely do those work.
Yeah, and I'd throw one thing in there. Obviously, a retirement plan is going to have a lot more details than here's my portfolio. However, I do want to throw out there that the mix of 60-40, the 60% stocks and 40% bonds, over time has become one of the most popular mixes or asset allocations in retirement. Because what we're finding over time is to keep up with inflation and taxes and everything else that people are having to expose their portfolios a little bit more to equities to get that long-term growth, so they don't run out of money in retirement.
All right, let's get to the last one here, Ryan. And to make sure you don't run out of money in retirement, since we're on that subject, only withdraw blank % from your portfolio each year. 1, 4, 6, or D, find a different strategy altogether.
Well, Walter, I know how smart you are. What's the safe withdrawal rate on a retirement portfolio?
Well, this is the old 4% rule that we hear about, right?
Absolutely. So the correct answer on this would be B, 4%. But of course, it depends. And this is where we constantly analyze your retirement income plan for what's going on. And some of the factors that are going to affect this are taxes, inflation, your rates of return, your actual spending habits. So based off of all those factors, we're going to continue to make tweaks in our retirement plan. And since we have a bunch of pilot listeners, the best way I've been able to explain this is if we're taking off from LA and flying to New York, we know that we're going to, in general, need to be taken off in a northeasterly direction. But we're constantly off course. And as we fly across the country based off of winds and weather and everything else, we're going to have to make little tweaks to stay on course. And one of the bigger factors, of course, is making sure we have enough gas to get there. We have enough assets or savings to get there, but we're going to constantly have to make tweaks based off of those things. And when I think about that from a retirement plan, inflation, taxes, spending habits, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's a really helpful way to look at things, Ryan, and it's a good way to finish up, I think, our fifth and final question of the retirement planning quiz. So if somebody's listening to the show today, Ryan, and they didn't get, kind of a 5 for 5 mark here on the show, or they don't have a great grasp or understanding of some of these various questions, what can they do? Take us through what the planning process or the question asking process would look like with you.
Well, we need to see what your current assets are. We need to see what your current investments are, do a full analysis on that, find out how close you are to retirement, and finding out what your needs in retirement are going to be. So it's a quite in-depth process, but I highly recommend you reaching out to us or another financial advisor to start the process, because planning is going to be the best thing that you can do to find out where you are in the retirement planning process and how close you are to that magic number that we call knowing your number.
Let me give you some more details on how you can get in touch with Ryan. You can give him a call or text at 843-475-3038. That's 843-475-3038. Or you can go online to retirepilots.com. That's retirepilots.com. That's also where you can get that retirement toolkit and find out how to get on the right path to get to and through retirement, and also discover what to do if you want to learn how to light the afterburners on your 401k and other retirement accounts and investments. So go to retirepilots.com to get in touch today. That's retirepilots.com. Ryan, thank you so much for the help. Great job on the quiz today, and we'll have another episode on the docket soon.
Take care, Walter. Thanks so much.
information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action.